All right, today we're going to talk about finding the inverse of a function. So the hard part about this is that there are a few more steps, but we're just solving for y. That's really all we're doing. So if you think of it that way, finding the inverse of the function is not too bad. So what you see here is we have f of x equals negative 3x plus 8. We want to know what its inverse is. So what we're going to do is, just to make this easier, I'm going to replace this with y. So I'm going to say y equals negative 3x plus 8. So from here, that is step one. Replace f of x or whatever it is with y, just to make it easier to follow and to rewrite. Now your first step after this is to flip your x and y. That's all you're going to do. So wherever I have a y, I'm going to say this is now an x, and wherever I have an x, I'm going to say this is now a y. So don't make that more complicated than it is. That's all you need to do. You're going to flip your x and y. Then all you have to do now is solve for y. So now I just need to solve for y, or isolate, or get y by itself. So I'm going to move everything over to the other side. So I'm going to subtract 8 from both sides, because I want to get everything away from y. You want to draw your wall, you can. So this is x minus 8 equals a negative 3 times y. To get y by itself, you want to divide all your terms on both sides by negative 3. If you wanted to make one big fraction, you could. But this gives you a positive y, so we have a positive y here. That's what we want. Y is by itself. Now I'm going to write this in the proper form, one to help me graph when we get to graphing inverse functions. So this is going to be a negative, because of this negative sign, 1 over 3x. So we're going to write this as negative 1/3 x. Now a negative and a negative, when we're dividing, makes a positive. So this is going to be plus 8 over 3. So this is our inverse function. We're saying we have a negative 1/3 x plus 8 over 3. But from here, how do I know the difference between my original and my inverse? So the notation that we're going to use, it looks like an exponent, but it isn't. It's called f inverse of x. So we're going to denote the difference between my original in the end by writing f inverse of x. So this exponent looking symbol to the negative 1 power, that is not what it is, but it's f inverse of x equals what we just found, which is negative 1/3 x plus 8 over 3. And so this is our inverse from our original. And so now we can see that the original was f of x and my inverse was f inverse of x.